What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Movie X Kicks, and I'm about to do the review of No Time to Die, James Bond as Daniel Craig's last movie. And I have to say, this was like a lot of people are going to say in the review, this is going to be like a bittersweet type of review because James Bond to me, Daniel Craig's James Bond, shall I say, was probably one of the best James Bond runs I've ever seen. Even though I'm not old, but I'm not young, Pierce Brosnan was the James Bond I kind of grew up with as a kid. But Daniel Craig is one I can kind of appreciate more because when I hit adulthood, there was Daniel Craig in a Casino Royale, and I just love Casino Royale. Quantum of Solace I did not too much like. Skyfall was probably my favorite James Bond until this last one. It just everything about that series and Daniel Craig's character as James Bond, it just kind of elevated like with most of the movies that they did. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. And to me, Skyfall was their ceiling. Like it was their first James Bond movie that hit $1 billion. So basically, to come down and get this to be our final James Bond film, it's just it was like I said, a bittersweet moment. Now this is going to be a spoiler review one because this movie has been out since last week, so I am going to be dropping some spoilers. If you haven't seen the movie, you might not want to tune in for this review just yet. James Bond pretty much picks up 5 years later after the last movie, and his love interest, Madeline, who they are kind of going back and forth, which one from the last one, Spectre. They are kind of in love, and then this event happens where they get split up and kind of forced apart, and then James Bond actually retires and kind of goes just kind of off by himself until Felix, we know from the original Casino Royale, actually comes up to him and asks him if he can do a favor for him to kind of help track down this supposed super killer that they're kind of trying to track down. James Bond, without the go-ahead of the 007 program, goes ahead and initiates this looking for this guy and comes to find out ends up being Stefan, played by Rami Malek's character, who is trying to develop a weapon which basically can wipe off half the population using DNA sequence by his will, meaning he can kill anyone if they get a piece of their DNA anytime, anywhere in the world, just by them breathing. And so James Bond and Matilda and the rest of the crew must come together to kind of stop this evil presence before it is unleashed throughout the world. And, the thing that I loved about this movie were the action scenes. To me, it's some of the best action scenes. And the thing that I'm a big action junkie for my movies. Like I don't like that beginning, middle, and action with all the storyline because this movie was very, very long. It was almost 3 hours long, and within that, you didn't have a lot of action, but you had just enough action to keep you going because the storyline was very good. The action scenes that they had in there, they kind of were paced well, and they were paced out through the movie. I could have used a little bit more, and it kind of got to a point sometime where I feel like this movie didn't have to be that long. It could have dropped off 25 minutes or so, but at the same time, I appreciate it since it was the last one and the story that they were trying to tell. And it's kind of like, you didn't have to know all the James Bonds from like I said, from Casino Royale, Spectre, Quantum of Solace, but they connected all of these movies kind of together, and I wish I would have kind of went back and reviewed Spectre. Also, Christopher Waltz returns as the villain of Spectre. He's in jail, and that's the one thing I like about this movie. It was more of a revenge-based movie because Rami Malek's character was basically set upon revenge. He started the movie trying to get revenge on Spectre for what Spectre has done to him and his family. And then he actually really doesn't have a problem. That's the one thing I like about the movie. He really didn't have a problem with James Bond. James Bond basically was just trying to stop him because he knew the things that he was trying to do and trying to take over. He wasn't trying to take over the world, but he was trying to control a certain part of the population, and James Bond basically couldn't let that happen. So it's like they really didn't have a disdain or hate for one another, but when James Bond tried to stop him, then that's when he became his villain. They actually had kind of a mutual respect almost for one another. They thought that Rami Malek thought they were one and the same, but they really weren't. But that's the con I can see was a lot of people say they didn't like Rami Malek's character because in essence, to me, he did a great acting job in this. I thought he was a great villain, but it almost kind of stemmed from like that cheesy like 1960s like Goldfinger type James Bond villain where he was this guy had a messed up face, he was rich, he had an island to himself, so it just gave you like that cheesy Bond villain vibe, like this rich dude just sitting on an island trying to take over the world. So in one aspect I see where people are coming from, but then once you kind of go in depth with the way that he was trying to kill everyone, which to me was so innovative and so outside the box, and the ways of how they kind of played the story on how he developed this weapon and like on the island with the scientists, and you're just like, damn, like they really went in depth, and some of the action scenes, like I said, were just dope. The car chase scene in the very beginning was very dope. So, and then like I said, the bittermost ending was just so terrible when like I said, if you guys haven't seen it, James Bond does die at the end, which really killed me. Like I wish they wouldn't have did that. And also, and we also find out James Bond has a daughter. So, which was a shocking surprise to me as well, which I didn't see coming. But like I said, it was kind of like a bittersweet moment because he did die, but you kind of know his legacy kind of lives on because he has a little girl. And I think they didn't have to kill him. I would have preferred them not, but like I said, it is what it is. I think this is going to be, I think this was like one of the best endings for a James Bond. Like, sometimes the thing I like about it is like the hero doesn't always win. He won, but the hero always doesn't win. Like they always don't ride off into the sunset with the girl and the family. So that's the one thing that I loved about it and I hated about it at the same time. So like I said, bittersweet moment, but a very good movie. I loved everyone's role in there. And also the big thing that they had this was another controversy about the movie, was they had the 007 played by Lashana Lynch, which basically was, and I have to take my hat out to the Bond, because a lot of people have been skeptics saying like the Bond could never, 007 really could never be a black person. So not only was she black, she was a dark-skinned female, and she had original hair. Like they kept her as natural as, most time when they go through movies like this, they like to give you like almost a super light-skinned woman, especially, to kind of really downplay her, but they went all in, like, and she was a beautiful character. I loved her character. She was a soldier. She wasn't the combative 007. She was like the new age 007 when she took orders and didn't have any fight back. She just kind of followed orders. But I loved her character in this. So like I said, guys, like I said, bittersweet moment with the Bond ending. I love it. I'm going to be interested to see where they go next. Who's going to be the next Bond to fulfill his shoes. So they're gonna have an uphill battle. So without that said, guys, if you guys, like I said, like movie review, TV show reviews, sneaker reviews, think about subscribing to the channel. If you like what you saw, please give me a like. I would highly appreciate that. And drop those comments. Let me know who has seen this movie. What did you guys think of this last epic Bond? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What? Drop those comments. Let me know what you guys thought. And so next time, guys, we're going to out. I'll see you guys later.